Welcome to part 2 of the video. We're now approaching Rhosydd quarry.
It was such a slog coming up from Cwmorthin up here to Rhosydd, but as you'll see very shortly, it really is worth it. So I'm just going to swing you around now and just show you there's a lovely waterfall here before we actually get to Rhosydd, so we'll switch you back on when we get to that.
So we're walking along and we've just got to go up that steep little bank, and behind it is mowing mower and it's got cloud down on the top. Typical November day.
There's a lovely waterfall just here. Just coming into view now, so just swing you around and show you. Not a lot of water at the moment, which is quite surprising considering the bogginess of the ground. But still, shortly we'll hit Rhosydd quarry. And here we are, absolutely amazing industrial archaeology of Rhosydd quarry. Absolutely massive area that was quarried. There's tunnels and buildings underground everywhere, but the barracks there, swinging around as Sue said, following Maître under cloud, swinging around a little bit further to the majestic Connect, which you can do a vlog on that when we manage to get up there. And I say, swinging round, so many things here to see. Holes in the ground, fallen buildings everywhere up here. And as I say, trying to find out where I stood to take some of these pictures in the past, it's really quite difficult. Another little archway down here.
Yeah, it looks
Just stumbled across this here.
Yeah.
Again, I think this is an old truck for moving the slate around or rubble around. So the buildings again all around just falling down.
Then you've got the slate fence on the right.
Yeah, okay. Right, let's give it a go. I think the first thing we notice about these two images is the difference that light makes and dry weather. The rust in the first image is really glowing and bright, and in the second one when we were up recently it was wet and really looked very, very dull. A little more damage done to it. It's spread out a little bit more, rusting away, but the buildings in the background seem to have stood up quite well. Of all the buildings in Cwmorthin and Rhosydd, there's three that are probably really well photographed, which is the barracks down in Cwmorthin, the chapel as was, and this archway up here in Rhosydd. Just an amazing feat of building, really. Hello. Just amazing ruins that we've got here. Bits of old rail still along the floor here. This really is one of the iconic buildings in Rhosydd and indeed Cwmorthin itself. The archway here has been photographed many times in the past, and it really is actually standing up to the test of time pretty well. It is falling down slightly, and every time we come we think, or we hope that it's really still going to be there, as it is absolutely beautiful piece of civil engineering. You can see the precarious angle of some of these buildings now are going to, it's all going to topple over before too much longer. I've said it so many times, such a shame, but it is such a shame it's been left to go. And another one of the buildings that we photographed up here, I've got no idea what it was used for. I think this really long building here was one of the sort of dressing the slate buildings. I think this just goes to show what light can do to your images. The image that I took for the panel was lit by early morning sun, absolutely wonderful glow on the brickwork. Unfortunately, when we went recently, the overcast day really did cast shadows across the building, but again, I think it stood up to the test of time pretty well. And this post here has been really quite difficult to find. It's not difficult to find, difficult to photograph. Where we stood before to photograph it, there's buildings come down and I can't stand there and take it, so just try it from here and see what it turns out like. When I took the images for the panel here on this little building, there was a roof of sorts on top of it. This is now collapsed inwards, and I couldn't stand where I stood to take the original image. As you'll see that the wall behind me it collapsed down, and I had to take it again from a little bit further back. Right, next picture. These barracks here, again, I think these were single men's barracks. What I've got to do here is just stepping back a bit. Is this old lorry chassis. So I think it's been moved to when I took the picture, but we shall see what we can do. Here again, the difference between the two images, the colour of the rust, because on the original panel image it was quite dry and glowing a little bit. On the later picture it's wet and dull. But the main difference is if you look behind on the barracks building, the chimney has gone and some of the gable end has collapsed down, so again slowly falling away. Very difficult as I trying to find some of the places where I stood, especially the buildings have altered. The stream has actually altered course a little bit, and I say that the wheel that was in the foreground is no longer here, so let's just give it a go. I say the chimney is off the end of the gable end, so just try it out, see what happens. I think this is nearer the position. I say the stream is completely altered course, but I say we were able to see the whole of the building, the side of the barracks there going down, so let's just see if we can get this one right. Just while we're here, and I remember two photographers that we saw today up here photographing, Mal and Daryl. If you're watching, great to meet you, and I hope you had a good day's photography. As I said in the video, the stream here has altered course a little bit, and it was quite difficult trying to find exactly where I stood for this. The grasses have grown up a bit, I'm saying that the stream has moved across. the wheel is long gone, so thanks to whoever moved that away. But the only other thing is just that the gable end, the chimney, is down. Otherwise the building is holding up pretty well. And what we've noticed is the buildings here in Rhosydd seem to be standing the test of time far better than the buildings down in Cwmorthin Valley. This was the picture that started it all, actually. The wheel that was in the foreground here, I in my innocence when we came up here thought it had been abandoned here by the last quarryman to leave the area. Little did I realise at the time that photographers used to drag things around to put into their pictures, and when I came up here the second time the wheel had gone and we've never seen it since. So that's pretty much all from this level of Rhosydd. We're just going to have a look around in the tunnel behind me in a minute, and then we'll switch off before we start going up to the top level on Rhosydd here. Besides the one chimney missing from the end of the barracks there, the most important part of the image is missing in the new picture that I took. The grasses are pretty similar, but why this wheel was moved I just don't know. It was an integral part of the scene really, and just part of the history of the quarry, but it's really nowhere to be found, and I have been looking for it for a number of years. Plenty of running water here, and as we come to the tunnel here, I'm certainly not going in. As you can hear the dripping. And it's a long way down. Certainly not going any further in. Such beauty in decay. Hey. So I put this still image in of looking down into the tunnel where we've been able to bring a little bit more detail out in Photoshop. What we then decided to do was we've got a little bit of light left during the day, so we're going to decide to go on up into the next level on Rhosydd and see if we could find the last 4 images from the panel. Once again, just lovely reflections in this still quarry pool here, and that's the way we're going up the incline there, heading up to the next level of open quarrying here at Rhosydd. As I look down, and you can see the extent of the buildings here. Must have been huge. Quite a steep pull up the incline here. You can see the buildings down below. It's Rhosydd. And a quarry spoil here, and more abandoned buildings, and we're probably just about halfway, I hope. Still got a bit of a steep pull to go. And as you can see, as you go around the corner here, just lift you up. We've got to get through there and up to that on the top. So ever onwards
and upwards.
So here we are on the top level of Rhosydd. Bit of a slog up here, Sam?
Yeah, just a bit.
Very.
Had to have a rest at the top.
Yeah, very claggy, the weather. I hope the photographs are going to turn out okay. But we'll swing you around and just show you everything that we can see up here. And we've got 4 images to find on this top level. So onward.
And not upwards, level
Ish. Okay. Okay, the old drum house here at the top of the incline that we've just come up. You can tell how bad the weather is. I mean, over there, normally beyond the ridge, you can see Fibre, Llywith, and here we have Cwmorthin, and way under cloud now is Maître. And this is the first building that we've got to do up here. Right, let's get the photography done. This building really does seem to have stood the test of time pretty well. It seems to be standing pretty much as it was 20 odd years ago. And the only difference that I can see really is that the chimney breast seems to be leaning a little bit more to the left, so perhaps it won't be too long before sadly that falls down into the building. Found the exact spot for this one, and to be fair, this building, as Sarah said, has stood the test of time pretty well. There's not that much gone down. As I swing you around, you can just see the drum house there on the right hand side where we came up. Right, try and find these other 3 elusive images. As Sarah's just pointed out, the building is behind us here. This channel goes along to a tunnel here, and there are tunnels everywhere up here, so you have to be careful and take your time. So much more spoil and so many buildings. It's a smashing place to explore. So in some more buildings here. Just amazing places. And my guide has managed to find the next image. In these houses, in this walls here, is the old wheel. Not sure what it was used for, so I'm connecting the background. So let's get the next picture taken. As with the other buildings up here on Rhosydd, this one stood the test of time again pretty well, and there doesn't seem to be too much difference in the walls to what there was 25 or so years ago. Just wish that we'd had a little bit better weather to photograph at the second time. Just so pleased that we could find these places still after this length of time. Although we've come to Cwmorthin and Rhosydd quite a lot over the years, we don't visit all of these places that we photograph for the panel. It's just an amazing place to come. So what we're going to do is sit down, have a cup of coffee, and probably chocolate bar, and then wend our way back, and then we'll come back up again tomorrow just to take the final few images and perhaps have a walk up one of the mountains around here. Just, I'll probably say I've complained about the weather, but when you get conditions like this, just absolutely magical. The mist coming down over the mountains, you can't see Maître in the background. Just wonderful. Okay, we're gonna give it up today now, and then tomorrow we'll be back to find the final few images. You come to Cwmorthin and you park up at the bottom of the incline here, and out of your car and straight away it's a slog coming up the hill. But then you get up here and little respite. Oh, good morning.
Morning.
And it's on, and so very, very atmospheric.
Onwards and upwards.
Pardon?
Onwards and upwards.
It is. But what a day again.
Yes, but the clouds are breaking there, so
Yeah,
perhaps we'll be lucky today.
Hope so. When the mist comes down up here on Rhosydd, it really does take on a completely different feeling, mystery. As if the weather's cloaking and enveloping what's here, protecting what's left. Couldn't have asked for better conditions, and oh, you never know who you're going to meet. So here we are, day 3, back up at the top level of Rhosydd, and the cloud cover is the lowest that it's been all week. Whether we'll be able to find these two elusive pictures that we're looking for, you certainly won't be able to see the views that we had, but just give it a go, see what happens. Okay, just come up the side of the spoiled heap here, up onto this level. I say you can't see really very much at all, but still ruins in the cloud. So we're heading on the path towards Maître, and on the way there are 2 massive holes in the ground east and west quarry pits, where in around 1900 the east quarry had a big collapse, and I think that was the beginning of the end of the quarries round here. So
go and have a walk to that building there.
yeah,
Come on.
right, so we'll walk down here. Slate is quite damp, as you can imagine, with this low cloud, and it can get quite slippy underfoot. So just taking our time. It really is such a shame that we can't see anything, but on the other side of the coin it really does add a little something. You see old cliffs looming, buildings looming out of the cloud. Magical. Still walking along towards the two deep quarry holes. So many buildings still around here, and you look at the lintel going across the doorway there, broken. Not going to be long before that's down. And more buildings here. It's really quite, I mean, the amount of times that Sue and myself have been up here, and but you're in conditions like this, you don't know really what's beyond the veil of cloud. So many workings here. Still having a little trouble in locating the last two images. We've been up to the top end of the quarry and can't find either of them at the moment. We have now mountains like Erwydd for Llwyd in the background that we can see, or we can see on the original images, but to give us a sense of direction. But I was just coming back down to these buildings here. We got one of the quarry pits here that I'm just going to stick my head over in a minute and have a look. That'll do. Whoa. Oh. Nearly. Just push you over the edge a bit, just have a look.
There's cliffs there.
Yeah.
Do you want to go up on that bit? Massive holes.
And here is one of the tunnels leading into one of the quarry pits here. But let's just see what the GoPro might be able to pick up if I put it inside. Out of the light, can you see anything, GoPro? Oh, not too sure. Very, very dark in there. And as we come back around, still searching for these elusive images. Let's just have a look over here into where the quarry's just all fallen away. Just massive areas that have collapsed, been dug out. See, it goes way down there and then across, and you just see the cliffs, the edges of it in the background. Wow. So we think we've found
It's in this area.
one of the images around here, and I know this fence wasn't here when we took the pictures before, so, and there's all fences being put up around edges of collapsed tunnels, so we can't see anything in the background. But set the tripod up, take the picture, and then see what it's like. This image here was really difficult to find, as we weren't too sure where we'd stood originally to take the picture, and we'd walked around for quite some time in the ruins trying to find it, but I think we did in the end. Just a shame that the first time that we took it, the mist was down, got no reference for the background. So again, we went the following day and took this last image here, which just about confirms that we were in the right place.
Sitting here in the mist, wringing wet, eating our lunch. The only sound is the babbling brook we can hear.
It is. So I'll just swing you around in a minute and give you the view that we've got sitting here. So cloudy still. We keep thinking the sun's going to break through, but it doesn't. So I'll just swing you around now and just show you what we can see. Lovely atmosphere. Finally, we found the final image, and I'm standing here where we're going to take it from. I can't go very much further. I was a little bit further back when I took the image before, but the further back I go, it's just getting lost in the low clouds. So just do it from here. The style wasn't there, nor the fence, when we originally took the image, so just final image to do. This building is set apart from most of the other buildings here, so it took us quite a while to find in the mist. Situated on its own, I think this is where the explosives were stored, and I say when we took it in the mist, we really got no markers in the background. We couldn't see it through it, out of with fur or anything, but luckily we came back the next day and managed to get an image where the actual sun was shining, the only day of the holiday that we had with a little bit of sun. Well, what an adventure this has been, reshooting this panel from 25 years ago in conditions that are completely different to what we had then. But this is just absolutely stunning and it's raining or drizzling in the air. We're getting a little damp, but it's been wonderful. Right, just final few thoughts. It's been an amazing experience coming here to do this. It's, if you like industrial history, if you just like walking, it's a smashing area to come to. But just remember, if you're here, I say to walk, to climb, to photograph, just tread a little lightly. There are generations of quarrymen who lived, worked, and in a lot of cases died in the area around here, just trying to support their family. So just treat the area with a little bit of respect and a little reverence. It's been a wonderful experience doing this, and I'm hoping that we're still going to be able to come again in the future, and we might get some half decent views next time. But it's been wonderful. I know my buzzword again, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know Sue has as well. I wouldn't have been able to have done it without her. She's my Pathfinder General, and it was quite difficult finding the last couple of images up on the top. If you're not used to walking in conditions like this, don't go up onto the top level of Rhosydd, because there are some big holes there and there are ventilation shafts as well, so just take care. If you've stuck with us this long for the 2 vlogs, thanks ever so much. We really do appreciate you spending your precious time watching us gallivanting around the hills. Please leave a comment, leave a like, and if you've really enjoyed it, think about subscribing to the channel. So until the next time, just remember, keep on walking, keep on getting out there. So bye for now.
Bye.